I just watched a video about Mitch McConnell's rigid opposition to the Safe Banking Act. He says, "We're talking about making our financial system more sympathetic to illegal drugs." I found this statement by Senator McConnell fascinating, if not wholly hypocritical, given his ties to Kentucky millionaire Vance Mills. Herman LeVance Mills, according to FBI documents, was involved in a venture to import large quantities of marijuana and cocaine from Mexico to the U.S. for distribution. As owner and chairman of American Fidelity Bank and Trust, he was investigated for violations of state and federal law involving financial institution fraud. Vance Mills was also a significant donor to Senator Mitch McConnell's campaign coffers. McConnell might say he knew nothing about Vance Mills' multi-million-dollar drug syndicate, but I find that hard to swallow, seeing he was sleeping with the U.S. attorney who would turn a blind eye to it all. This is the story I've pieced together so far, and it's just a peek into the can of worms I'm about to unleash on these people. Sometime in the very early 90s, possibly even the late 80s, Mitch McConnell was in a relationship with Karen Caldwell, an assistant U.S. attorney. Senator McConnell, after accepting Vance Mills' tainted drug money, recommends his girlfriend to President Bush for the nomination to the top position of U.S. Attorney over the whole Eastern District of Kentucky, a recommendation Bush accepts. Caldwell is then charged with running Operation Crabgrass, a massive investigation of corruption in state government, only to shut it down with one lone conviction, that of Tom Odell Smith, a state representative who extorted money from a drug dealer for promises of influence. She was also the U.S. attorney when Lee Pig Warren was busted for cocaine and pot. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but Pig had an interest in Vance Mills' Corbin 76 truck stop. So it's probably safe to assume at least some of Pig's illegal drugs were coming from Vance Mills himself. Rumor has it Pig flipped and began informing, which fits the timeline of this cooperating witness who had detailed information about Vance's drug trafficking, more than enough to secure an indictment and long prison sentence that never, ever happened. So to recap, Karen Caldwell and her office prosecuted Vance's partner, but she never touched Vance Mills himself. If Vance Mills had not plied Senator Mitch McConnell with who really knows how many thousands of dollars via political donation, a senator who then turned around and got his girlfriend the top job at the U.S. Attorney's Office, a job that not only would allow her to turn a blind eye, but do damage control for any criminal situation her senator boyfriend's political donors might find themselves in, we would have witnessed one of the largest long-term drug dealing, weapons running, money laundering, politician protected criminal syndicates in Kentucky history, if not the history of the United States, brought to its knees. An organization that boasts hundreds of members and had at one time cash reserves upward of almost $400 million, and that's 1990 money. You can see why Vance Mills needed a bank, and a U.S. senator, and a U.S. attorney, or two, or four. This was the mother lode of corruption, and Karen Caldwell blew it all on purpose. Did I mention she would become Chief Judge of the U.S. District Court for Eastern Kentucky. And so these well-organized, well-funded, and politically connected criminals continue to this day, unabated. Give me a list of all the donors to McConnell's and Hal Rogers campaigns over the last 35 years, and I'll show you just how many there are. I do believe the passage of the Safe Banking Act would remove another barrier to legalization. But legalization is bad for business when it comes to black market drug syndicates like what is found in southeast Kentucky. They contribute untold amounts of money to unscrupulous politicians like Senator McConnell, and that's a pipeline politicians like him are loath to cut off. That's exactly why the Safe Banking Act needs to pass and the war on drugs terminated. It has corrupted those who are supposed to lead. It has corrupted those who are supposed to serve. And it has corrupted those who are supposed to protect. So the next time Senator Mitch McConnell tries to tell you the Safe Banking Act is bad, you'll now understand he means it's bad for him and his bank account. I would not normally ask you to share this with your friends, but this is such an important safety issue for people with legitimate legal businesses who are prohibited from using banks under federal law. They're getting robbed, they're getting hurt, and in some cases, I'm sure people have even lost their life. All for money they legally earned because of politicians like Mitch McConnell. Thank you.